right, we're back with our favorite film guy, Kurt the Film Guy. What are we talking about today?
Well, you know, many Netflix subscribers saw that this new movie promoted on Netflix was very well promoted. It's called Otherhood. You may have heard of it, about a couple mothers taking care of their kids during Mother's Day, and the kids aren't prepared for it. But it was really well promoted. So I thought I would talk about a movie today that was a little less promoted. You might not quite know as much about this one as the other one. It is called The Red Sea Diving Resort.
Okay.
It's based on real events, roughly from the late 1970s to the early 1980s, and it follows a group of Israel, what were they? They were intelligence agents from Israel as they were trying to take a bunch of Ethiopian Jews to Jerusalem. And it's just this undercover espionage situation that gets them into major trouble, and they have to do it while they hide, and they have to have a kind of cover. So they claim that they
hide in plain sight thing.
Yeah, so they claim that they are people that run this resort at the Red Sea Diving Resort.
Oh.
So, and it stars Captain America himself, Chris Evans, as the leader of the crew. And this is all very, very actual, factual information. This has all actually happened in real life in the 1980s. And it's part of a little less known operation called Operation Brothers. And as much as I've come up with the information, it's very interesting all that they went through to do this. It also stars Sir Ben Kingsley, Michael Kenneth Williams, and Greg Kinnear. You know, and as they're getting ready for this first mission to bring all these refugees to actually off to the beach to get them to Israel, they have one little problem. A bus rolls up, and it's potential guests
for the resort,
expecting to go to this resort. So now they actually have to be people that run this resort.
Now, see, that's what,
from Mossad agents to
exactly Mossad agents.
I think that's what makes it sounds really interesting.
That's the word that kept getting stuck in my head. And I'm like,
Mossad, yeah.
All right, so what else have we got to look forward to? So, well, what got you interested in that film?
Okay, well, you know what's interesting about this movie is I love history movie. It is a little depressing, and I'm always a history buff. I want to find out what happens. But the best thing about this movie is find out after what happens and find out what really happened. There's some things on the internet, but yeah, you know, it's a really fun film. You know, they did a really good job casting. Chris Evans is amazing. He's an American Israel Mossad agent.
Right.
But what's really interesting is Michael Kenneth right here. He really should have followed the Ethiopian cast. You know, it really follows more or less the white cast members as they run this resort. And really, we didn't really get to follow the Ethiopian characters that are struggling to hide in these refugee camps and going at night to get away from all these guerrilla agents that are trying to kill them. And we do get to witness them. There are the little moments where Chris Evans butts heads with the leader of the guerrilla warfare people, and as they're like, stay away, and it's like, you can't prove I'm doing anything, kind of.
Yeah. So was it like the casting you didn't care for, or not developing those other characters?
Yeah, it's not developing the other characters. It would have been a lot stronger if we would have followed, here's the butting head scene. It would have been a lot stronger if we followed more of the Jewish community, the Ethiopian refugees that were following them.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's a really much stronger film. This was a fun, enjoyable film. Not fun, but there's some enjoyable parts with the resort part.
I would watch it.
A much stronger film, in my opinion, was called The Good Lie. Of course, I forget about it when I'm trying to think. The Good Lie with Reese Witherspoon came out a couple years ago, and it actually follows Ethiopian children refugees as they go to Sudan, just like this.
Yeah.
And then they are welcomed to the United States and get living facilities, and they learn jobs and stuff. And it actually follows the children and the struggles they go through. It's almost a whole hour before we get to America and see Reese Witherspoon, because we have to follow these kids and truly see what they went through to just survive, just to get across the desert and to not get killed, you know.
What else is out there to stream?
There's a huge list of films available to buy today. There's Godzilla, King of Monsters, Brightburn, which is that Superman kind of horror film, A Dog's Journey. This is the sequel to Dog's Purpose, and not to be confused with The Dog's Way Home. There's a lot of dog movies.
There are.
Lately, yeah.
There's The Hustle, which is the remake of that Steve Martin, Michael Caine, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
But
really
women.
fun.
Yeah.
Anne
Fun
Hathaway and Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
The son is also a star, which is based on the book of the same name. That was kind of an enjoyable film about a young lady that's being deported, and her family's all from like Jamaica, I believe, and she's going back, and this guy wants to date her, and she's like, well, I only have a day to prove, for you to make me fall in love with you. So it was an interesting film. And also out is Rocket Man, Taron Egerton as Sir Elton Hercules John, also known as Reginald Kenneth Dwight. This is an enjoyable retelling. If you're a huge fan of the music, you'll love this. Jamie Bell as Bertie Taupin, Richard Madden as John Reed, Elton John's boyfriend and manager. Bryce Dallas Howard as his mom. What a phenomenal role. If you're in a scene where you're watching his mom, if she's in the scene, just look over and look at her. She makes all these, expressions. So she's not interested, as everybody else is so excited about him. And it's fun. She's really putting something into this character as opposed to everyone else who's just kind of, we're enjoying it. We're excited.
Yeah, I really like her too.
Good
Well, I'd like to
stuff
see
out
that
there.
one, and I still haven't. All right, good suggestions, Kurt.
Thanks,
Thank you
Kurt.
so much. Okay, it is time now.